What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So the Ottawa Senators made a very confusing move. They hired Travis Greene as their head coach. Gets a 4-year deal for 2028. I don't understand why. He's not a good National Hockey League coach. He was terrible in Vancouver. Was fired midseason through like his fourth or fifth year, something like that. There, he was terrible over there. Now, he was an assistant with the Devils the last couple of years. He became the interim coach when they fired Lindy Ruff. Was terrible as the interim in New Jersey. Now he's coach of Ottawa. This is why the Ottawa Senators are never successful. They wonder why they aren't successful. It's like stupid moves like that. You know, they made some nice moves last offseason, bringing Claude Giroux, and they brought in Alex DeBrincat. I was thinking, all right, they got a lot of young pieces. Now you bring in a couple of veterans to help them offensively. You know, this is a team that might be able to, make a run this year. Could get back into the playoffs. And did not happen. They're absolutely horrible. We're on one of the worst teams in the league. And now they hire Travis Greene as their head coach. But Drew Bannister was just named the full-time head coach for the St. Louis Blues. He had a 2-year extension. They named him the interim head coach after they fired Craig Berube, who was there for a little while. Of course, won the Stanley Cup with them in 2019. I think it's the right move. He deserves a shot. I mean, NHL was probably coaching matters the least of the four big sports, in America in the NHL. That's why they just, guys get fired mid-season all the time. If you have a veteran coach on your staff as an assistant, a lot of times, if the team's struggling, you can just fire a guy and promote the assistant, and that's all the team needs to get sparked and get hot again and do what they need to do. The Blues were pretty much dead in the water when Berube was let go, and they played better under Bannister. They got into the playoff picture, weren't able to quite get into the playoffs, but I think that was the right move to keep him. He deserves a shot as the full-time head coach. The Hart Trophy finalists were also named in the NHL. There were Nikita Kucherov of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche, and Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers. All three had phenomenal years. Kucherov, 44 goals, 144 points this year for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Colorado Avalanche, Nathan MacKinnon had a year. He had 51 goals, 89 points, and 140 in assists, 140 points. And Connor McDavid, who was the MVP last year, had 32 goals, 100 assists, and 132 points this year. To me, it's Nathan MacKinnon. He had 50 goals and 140 points. He's leading the Colorado Avalanche, who are currently playing in the second round of the playoffs right now. Like, to me, it's him. All three of them had great years. You can definitely make a case for Nikita Kucherov also had a phenomenal year. I don't think it's McDavid this year, but I think Kucherov should be not Kucherov. McKinnon should be the Hart Trophy winner and the MVP. I'll talk some playoffs in the NHL. The Boston Bruins defeat the Florida Panthers 5-1 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals to get a 1-0 series lead. So Florida scored first in the second period to go up 1-0, but then right away, Boston tied it, and they ended up scoring 5 unanswered. And that game went 5-1. Jeremy Swayman, 38 saves in the game, phenomenal. Came from him. He has, been phenomenal. They kind of split time in the regular season, him and Lance Olmark. They were going back and forth in that first round, but, eventually by like game 4 or 5, Jim Montgomery realized, he's clearly the better goalie in the playoffs, and since then, Swayman's been great. I think he allowed 2 or 3 goals or fewer in every game. He's been phenomenal. Definitely the better goalie of the two between him and Linus Ullmark. He should start the rest of the way in this postseason. He should be their starter going to next year as well. They got to give him whatever he wants when it comes to financially. I don't know if he's a free agent or not. We'll talk NHL free agency as it gets a little closer. But yeah, I'm probably going to do something with the NBA as well when it comes to kind of like teams all-season outlook, like kind of like a 30 teams in 30 days kind of thing we're going to try and shoot for. NBA free agency is June 30th. Well, no, the negotiating period starts on June 30th, and then you can officially sign guys starting July 6th. So probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. I won't start any later than June 1st, since I'll probably start the last week in May, so I can be done before June 30th. Also, I don't know what my schedule's going to be like. I think I'm moving back up to school on June 1st. But I don't know if I'll have access to the studio. I'm not sure if it's open during the summer. I'm not sure if there's somebody around to let me in if my identification doesn't get me in like it usually does. But So figuring out that is, I won't make a official announcement for probably, I won't know for sure for at least another 2 or 3 weeks. So instead, I'll do probably same with the NHL. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But Bruins beat the Panthers 5-1. They took a 1-0 series lead. That guy low right at a goal says he's been very good in the playoffs. A good young defenseman for the Bruins. A lot of fans really like him. He's a guy who has a chance to be very good in this league for a long time. Bruins for a big game 1 victory over the Florida Panthers. In the NBA, you had the New York Knicks defeat the Indiana Pacers 121-117. Jalen Brunson, another phenomenal game. 43 points as Knicks take game 1 at Madison Square Garden. Phenomenal game. Knicks have played close every single game in this playoffs. The only game that they played that wasn't close in game 3 against Philly, they lost by 11, 125-114. I think it was. But every other game's been really close. They won game 2 against the Sixers by 2. They won game 4 by 5. They only lost by 6 in game 5. Game 6 they won by 3. You win game 1 here against Indiana by 4. So in the 6 games against the Sixers, overall through 6 games, they only outscored the Sixers by 1 point. So that was a very close series. Now they win game 1 by 4. And Timberwolves destroy the Denver Nuggets 106-80. 27-12 are coming out of town. Didn't even have Rudy Gobert in this game. He had him and his wife welcome their first child. So congratulations to the Gobert family. Anyone thinking he shouldn't have missed the game? Shut up. Pipe down. I know. Look, I'm not a Gobert fan by any means. I think he's a little arrogant. I don't think he's the greatest locker room guy. I think he's a little bit overrated. That being said, on top of being a great player, obviously defensively, it's birth of his first shot. I know he makes a lot of money, but still, come on, birth of his first shot. Get a freaking life. But their defense last night was absolutely stunning. The Denver Nuggets, incredibly suffocating defense they played last night. Each of the first 2 games, they've really shut down Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray, who was not good in game 1 either, was 3 of 18 last night. He did absolutely nothing. Even Jokic only had 16 points, added 16 boards, and so only 16 for him last night. So Timberwolves with a big game 2 win. They go up 2-0 going to Minnesota. So that's already looking like it's over. He never came up with Nuggets, but game 1. Minnesota takes it. Jamal Murray did nothing. He didn't have a single basket in the first half of that game. In game 2, Murray was 3 of 18. Jokic only had 16 points. Without Rudy Gobert, you hold the Nuggets to 80 points. You blow them out. He was never close. Now, Minnesota hasn't even had a home game yet in the series. It's going to be hard for Nuggets to come back from that. Also, much of you saw Jamal Murray at one point threw a heating pad on the floor. It's where he threw something at the ref when he was sitting on the bench at one point. I forgot what it was. It looked like some sort of it was something very light. And the referee didn't see it. He didn't notice it. So then I think he's like, oh, I didn't get his attention. He threw something heavier. It was a heating pad. He threw it on the floor while the team were battling under the basket. I think it was that player Towns knocked into somebody and he got the rebound and he put it in for 2. That's just that's terrible. I love Jamal Murray, but come on. That's just absolutely terrible. You can't do that. You have people telling all right, should he be suspended on that? You can't throw a foreign object on the court. And then people say, oh, it didn't affect the play. Minnesota got a basket game line. They won by 26. What if, he did that in a close game with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He got lucky that he did that, in the latter half of the second quarter when his team was down 25 points. What if it was a close game in the final minutes of the fourth quarter when he did that? You think you'd have a little different reaction, right? What if he threw that and Anthony Edwards, a star player from Minnesota Timberwolves, steps on it, slips and falls, and breaks his elbow and is out for the rest of the playoffs? You can't do that. That's just absolutely terrible. And I understand he's frustrated. He's been locked up all series so far. First game he was absolutely horrible. His team's struggling. He's frustrated. The defending champ is supposed to be winning the series, and they're getting blown out. I understand he's frustrated, but you can't do that. You're a professional basketball player. You cannot let your emotions get the best of you like that. That's terrible. That's just pathetic. Should he be suspended? It's hard for me to say no, I feel like. Like, he threw, like, I know, like, it's a heating pan, it's not like he threw a sharp object, but, like, again, like, what if Anthony Edwards or Carl Towns, one of these star players on the Timberwolves stepped on, slipped and fell and took a spill and broke their elbow or got seriously injured? Like, and they had to miss games in the series or miss games in this playoffs. Like, that cannot happen. And, like, it's one of those things, like, if you go into the rule book, like, you never really see a player, like, you've seen guys, like, on the court throw things off the court. Like, a few years ago, Stephen Curry got really pissed off when he threw his mouth guard into the stands and he got ejected. And you've seen Draymond Green do something. You saw a couple of years ago when Pat Bev was on the Lakers, the end of the game, LeBron threw one of his 96 temper tantrums that he throws every year on that, it's a meme now. Pat Bev grabbed the camera, and he showed it to the ref, and he got teed up, and there was a bunch of controversy about it. But you never really seen a player playing he's dressed for the game, especially a player of Jamal Murray's caliber. He's in the game, but he's sitting on the bench. He's not in the game at the moment, but he's playing in that game and playing a lot of minutes like Jamal Murray is. Throws him from off the court onto the court. You've never really seen it. So is there like a legit rule for that? It's one of those things like, all right, like, I'm not sure if there's a legit rule. I'm not sure if it says, like, in the rule book, oh, if you throw something onto the court, you get suspended for a game, or, I know the crew chief said after the game that it should have been a technical foul. The referees didn't see it. Remember, one of the Nuggets players, I think, took it and threw it back off the court like after Towns scored the basket just to get it off the court so to stop play. But the referees didn't see it. Like, that should have been a technical foul on Jamal Murray or on the Denver Nuggets. So, but, like, it's hard to see, like, how you don't suspend them. It's one of those things, like, is it in the rule book? I don't know. It's one of those things like, all right, it's not in the rule book, but it's not in the rule book because you don't think anybody would ever do it. Like, why would a player playing in the game, throw a foreign object onto the court? Like, why would they do that? It's one thing, if they do it while they're on the court, they throw it off the court. Like I said, a few years ago, Steph Curry got ejected from a game for throwing his mouth guard, into the, I'm not sure if it was at a ref or into the crowd out of frustration. I've never seen a player throw a foreign object from the bench onto the court. I think you've just never seen it before. Like, I'm sorry, but that's pathetic. I really think he should get a game for that. I do not think he should be able to play in Game 3. Then you had the Knicks, of course, beat the Pacers 121-117. There were some controversial calls in that game. Okay, look. The kick ball that they called on Indiana was a tagging with 52 seconds left. They missed that one. That's a terrible call. That was a loose ball that Brunson lost the ball, and then it fell out of his hands, and then I think it hit the hands. Maybe it was Miles Turner. I forgot if it was Turner or Siakam, whoever it was. That was that one they missed. But the moving screen, they called it. Pacers got the ball back with like 17 seconds left after the Knicks turned it over, down by a point. And with 12 seconds left, 12.1 seconds left, Miles Turner set a screen on Dante DiVincenzo. They called it a moving screen off with the foul going down. The Knicks ended up, so obviously they get the ball, and they fouled Brunson, who then he made, I think the Knicks were up by a point at that point. I think they made free throws, and they ended up, taking a lead, extended it to 4 with a few seconds left, and then the Pacers went down, and they missed a shot. Knicks got a rebound with, like, in the last few seconds, with up by 4. Also, at that point, no point in the end of fouling, the game was over, so the Knicks went to win the game. Look, I think DiVincenzo looked over at Ben Stiller and Tracy Morgan and said, "Bet," because I think he was the best actor in that building that night, despite Ben Stiller being in the crowd. Not saying much. Ben Stiller was a horrible actor. I'm sorry, but the whole seriousness, I do think there's a little acting there on DiVincenzo's part. A little extra flop, you could even call it. But that was the right call. Yes, like, you can say, oh, like, should it have been called? Playoff game. Madison Square Garden, 1-point game with 12 seconds left, something that, like, guys do it all the time. They don't call it in the NBA. Maybe you could argue that. I have to do my research to whether or not that's true, but Miles Turner was moving. He set a screen and he was moving. That's when they teach you that in middle school. Like when I was going to, shout out to the Back to Basics basketball camp. If you live on Long Island, you should know what that is. It's a very phenomenally run youth basketball camp here on Long Island in Suffolk County. Especially if you're in the East Northport area, you definitely know what that is. If you play basketball, you definitely went to that camp at some point. And I started going to camp. I was like fifth, sixth grade, whatever, and they were teaching us how to set screens and what a moving screen, what a legal screen was. That's something like sixth grade, you know what a moving screen is. So Miles Turner, a guy who's been in the league for whatever it was, 7, 8, 9 years, however long he's been, has got to know. You're on the screen, you can't be moving, and he was moving. Yes, Dante oversold it, but it was a moving screen, so that was the right call. The only call they missed was the kickball on Indiana. Even so, even if they don't call it, Indiana gets the ball and they go down and get a 3, and they go up 3 with 35, 40 seconds left, next could still come back and win the game. Jalen Brunson is one of the best players in the NBA. He had 43. He had 23 in the fourth quarter. There's, he gets the ball with 40 seconds left. He could easily have gotten a 3 with 20, 25 seconds left, and the next could have gotten a stop, and they got another basket and won the game. Let's not pretend like that decided the game. So, but the NBA officiating has got to be better. It's been ticky-tack. It was horrible last year. It's not much better this year. They're being too ticky-tacky with a lot of these fouls. There have been a few controversial calls. There's a few in the Phil and Nick series on Tyrese Maxey in that crazy ending in Game 2. I said that Tyrese Maxey traveled in Game 5. Now the moving screen on Miles Turner. Also they made a mistake on the kickball. Their referee even admitted it. But let's not pretend like the Knicks are the only team that's gotten a call in their favor. And also, it was tied in with 52 seconds left. And if you watch the game, the Knicks could have still won the game. Again, got the ball and got a free out on that possession. Worst case, they would have been down 3 with 35 seconds left. Probably a little more than that. Well, most likely they're down 2 with 40 seconds left, with the best player on the floor in Jalen Brunson. And they had like 2 timeouts, at least one, not 2 timeouts. At home, Mouse Warren. Come on. They're not decide the game. Let's miss me with them. I'm sorry. Before we close out, I want to talk about Patrick Beverley in Game 6 against the Indiana Pacers when the Bucks lost by 22 points in that game to be eliminated from playoff contention in the first round. Pat Beverley, he was on the bench, was very frustrated. He threw a ball at a fan, not super hard. The fan threw it back at him, and then he chucked it back at him. It's disgusting. And then in the post-game press conference, they were trying to ask him about it, and there was this one woman, I forgot her name, but she's been in NBA media for 40 years, so she's done her time. She's obviously a very accomplished journalist. She's been covering the NBA for 40 years. She was asking him a question, and then she goes, and Pat Bev goes, "Are you subscribed to my podcast?" She goes, "No." Like, and I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm a journalist for the NBA. Well, I don't have time to subscribe to your crappy podcast." He's like, "Oh, you can't ask me a question respectfully." She's like, "Okay." She was actually nice back. She could have said, "Kiss my ass," answer the effing question. And then, someone else asked the question, and she still had her mic there. And she has the right to freedom of the press in this country. The media can talk to the NBA public after the game, obviously. And he goes, "Oh, can you step out of circle, please? Thank you very much." That is just disgusting. This guy is the biggest bitch ass in the entire league. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but that's true. He's been doing this for years. The guy is a horrible NBA player. Oh, yeah, he's a good defender, brings toughness, but that's all he is. The dude sucks. He sucks. Why did he have 9 different teams? He was on the Clippers and the Rockets and the Lakers and the Bulls, and the Sixers had him earlier. He's on the Bucks. The dude just a locker room disease, and he sucks at basketball. Are you kidding me with that? First of all, throwing a basketball at a fan, I don't care how frustrated you are. That's just terrible. That's disgusting. A disgusting act by Patrick Beverley. What if the fan, what if it was a young fan who wasn't looking and hit them in the face? And they had to get facial surgery. That's just disgusting. What kind of man-child are you? You stupid idiot. And then he won't let a journalist ask him a simple question like he's allowed to do, something he's been doing for 40 years covering the NBA, because he doesn't subscribe to his stupid, this awful podcast. Are you kidding me? That is just a whole nother level of arrogance. Patrick Beverley should be ashamed of himself. I hope no one signs this pathetic moron in the offseason. He is a moron. He sucks at basketball, and he is a pathetic human being. Patrick Beverley is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. If that's the last moment in the NBA for Patrick Beverley, good. I hope he never gets a job in basketball ever again. Or ESPN banned him from first take and get up. Good. I don't want to ever see this guy on TV ever again. His podcast sucks. His game sucks. His personality sucks. Everything about him sucks. He is good at nothing. He does not have a single skill in life. That is just terrible and arrogant. Oh, he gave a circle? Oh, get the hell out of here, dude. You're lucky I can't curse on this podcast. Well, my show technically I could. But I'd rather not, because you never know, sensitive people want YouTube to call me out. That is pathetic. You're wrong with Patrick Beverley. You gotta be better than that, dude. I hope you never play in the NBA again. That's your last moment. Good riddance. I don't mean to quote Nick Wright. He's not a good analyst, but he was right in his rant that he did the other day. I think it was last week on Patrick Beverley. Just stupid, 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 stupid. One of the biggest bitches in the NBA. Oh my God. What a pathetic loser. But it's all I got for you guys today. Till next time, so long. Have a great day.